Hi everyone! So because Rory Thorn is set in outer space, I thought it would be really fun for us to make some space-themed origami crafts together. All you're going to need to make these origami creations is a sheet of paper. You might also want some scissors and a ruler, and then maybe a pen or pencil, but you don't have to have them. So I'll give you a couple minutes to grab those if you want to do this along with me, and then we'll get started. So we're going to make some planets or suns or whatever you want these to be, and some origami stars to go along with them. I learned how to make these fun origami pieces on Creative Bug, which is a great digital crafting resource that you can access on the county library's website. It has all sorts of fun tutorials for painting, drawing, knitting, crocheting, sewing. It's even got some furniture refinishing tutorials on there. It's really great. So if you want to see more crafts like this, go to countylibrary.org to check it out. So with that said, to make these guys, you can just use regular blank white printer paper like this, or you can use lined notebook paper or whatever paper you have sitting around. If you want, you can use scrapbook paper that's textured on one side but not on the other, or you can do what I did and you can print out something that looks like the texture of a moon or a planet, so it's colored on one side and not on the other. Blank white paper will work. I'm mostly using this so it's easier to see on camera. So, do you have your paper? Awesome. We are going to start by making our planet. The first thing you're going to need to do is trim your paper into the shape of an exact square. The size doesn't really matter as long as it's the same length on every side. So to do this, you can either use a ruler to measure out every side of your square, or a really easy way to make a square out of a rectangular sheet of paper is to take one corner and fold it down along the edge of your paper. So we're just going to fold this flat right up straight along the edge of the opposite edge of the paper. There we go. And so now you'll see there's a little rectangular bit left over down at the bottom. So you can take a pencil and draw along that fold, and then when you unfold, there should be a line that you can then cut off that rectangle down at the bottom, and you'll be left with a nice square. Or what you can do is you can fold this rectangle up like this. Ta-da! And then you fold it back and forth a bunch of times. Maybe stick your finger in your mouth and get a little bit wet. And then you should be able to just rip that rectangle right off the end of the paper, and you'll be left with a nice square. Right? So, once you have your square of paper, you're ready to go. If you have paper that looks like this, where it's patterned on one side and not on the other, you're going to want to start with the pattern face down. So the first fold that we're going to make, if you followed the method that I just showed you to make your square, you will have already done this. So you're going to start by folding your paper in half, corner to corner. So we end up with a triangle. Just like this. And then we're going to fold it in half, corner to corner again. So we have a slightly smaller triangle. Ooh, making some nice noises with my paper. So it should look like that. All right, now you're going to unfold your paper back into a square, and now we're going to put it so that the pattern is face up. We're going to fold it in half again, except this time we're going to make it into a rectangle, so edge to edge, just like this. Okay, so we should have a nice rectangle with these little triangular creases going up to the corners. Now we're going to unfold, and now we should have these two kind of mountain creases right here along one side of the paper. We're going to pull those together. Push them together just like this, and then push your paper down. It should fold right along those creases, and then fold it nice and flat. There we go. So you'll have a triangle again, and the bottom will look kind of like this, where you've got some little flappy bits down here. So now we're going to take the top flap, one corner, and fold it up into the middle so that the point touches the top point of our triangle. And press it nice and flat. It's going to look just like this. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to fold up our other flap like this. There we go. So it should look like that. Make sure you're pressing all of your creases nice and flat. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So fold up both corners of our triangle up into the middle, just like this. Pressing it nice and flat. And there we go. So we have a nice little diamond shape with the line running up and down the middle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our corners right here and we're going to fold it into the middle so it meets that line that runs up and down. So we're going to fold it just like this. There we go. So our point is met in the middle. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other flap. I'm going to take it and fold it into the middle. Like this. So they should basically be touching that middle line. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to fold our point into the middle and then fold our other corner into the middle. So when you're done, it should look just like this. Now at this point, you'll notice that one of our ends is all closed up. Everything's folded, it's all one sheet of paper, you can't unfold it. And the other end is all flappy. You could unfold it if you wanted to. So I want you to take the closed part of our little shape here and set it down facing away from you. And we're going to take one of these flaps down at the bottom and fold it up against the triangles that we just folded so it sticks out from the side of our little shape, whatever shape this is. I don't know what shape it is. And then we're going to unfold it and fold it again, except this time we want the edge to meet the bottom of the triangle, like this. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to fold it, I don't know if you can see that, we're going to fold it up against the edge of the triangle so it sticks out from the edge. And then we're going to unfold it and fold it again so that the edges meet. Like this. So when you have both flaps folded up, it should look something like that. Okay, now we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take one of our flaps, fold it up against the triangle that we folded before so that it sticks out from the edge, unfold it, and fold it so the edges meet. And then the same thing last time. We're going to fold our flap up against the triangle so it sticks out from the edge, unfold it, and fold it so the edges meet. So when you're done with all four of those flaps, it should look something like this. Alright, this is the tricky part. So you'll notice our little triangles here have these little pockets in them. We are going to take the flaps that we just folded and fold them up into those pockets. So kind of fold them up on themselves and then flatten it down. So the flap should be gone. You shouldn't see it anymore. Make sure that it goes into the pocket and not below or behind it. Otherwise this won't work. So I'll show you again. We're going to open up this pocket here with our finger. And then we're going to take the little flap and fold it inside of the pocket and then press it nice and flat. So once we've done both of those, there shouldn't be any flappy bits sticking out anymore. Now we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to open up this pocket. We're going to fold our flap inside of the pocket and press it down nice and flat like that. And then one more time, we're gonna open up this pocket, fold our flap inside, and press it flat. There we go. So that's all the folding we need to do, but this doesn't really look quite like a planet yet. So the last thing we need to do is, you will notice that one end of our little shape that we've made is completely closed up. It's just one sheet of paper. And the other end has a nice little hole, a teeny tiny little hole in it. So you're gonna take that end, you're gonna open it up, and you're gonna blow really hard into the hole, and it should inflate like a balloon. Here we go. Ta-da! There's our planet, or moon, or sun, or whatever celestial body you want it to be. These are really fun to make. I've made a million of them this week. So I hope you have fun making those. And I hope that you saved the little rectangle that you cut off to make your square of paper, because that is the perfect size to make 5 little stars, just like this, to go along with your planets. So you can measure off. You'll want to divide that up into 5 half-inch strips of paper. So that's what you'll want to use your ruler and your pencil to measure out those 5-inch strips. You can make them smaller than that, but I wouldn't go any larger than a half-inch. And these are really simple to make. So we have our strip of paper here. We're going to hold it about 2/3 of the way up. And what I'm going to do, it's a little hard to show you on camera, but we're basically going to take the top of the strip, wrap it back around your finger, take your finger out, and stick the paper through the hole like you're tying a knot. So it should look something like this. So now we're going to take these edges here, these 2 edges, we want to make sure they're about the same length as each other. So kind of pull on either end of your paper to adjust. I'm going to turn it back around so I can see a little bit better. Make them about the same length. And then once they're the same length, you're going to press the edges down nice and flat. So it should look something like that. You'll have a pentagon shape with a little tail sticking out one end and a big long tail sticking out the other end. So you're going to take your little tail and you're going to fold it up along towards you, along the bottom of your pentagon, and it should fold pretty nicely along that bottom edge. If it's too long and it sticks out the other end, like mine does just a little bit, what you can do is fold it back on itself, like that, and then tuck it inside the little pocket of paper that you've made. So it should look something like that. So now you're going to take the other long strip of paper, and I'm doing this backwards. So you're going to fold this away from you. I'm folding it towards me, and it should go along the bottom edge of your little pentagon pretty nicely as you fold it flat. And then you're going to do that again. You're going to fold it along the next edge, and it should again go along that top edge very nicely. And if it doesn't, you can make little tiny adjustments to how you're folding it, just to make sure that it generally folds along the edges. And we're just going to keep doing that. We're going to keep going around and around and around. Oop, there we go. And around until you have just a teeny tiny little tail of paper left, and we can't make any more full circles. So if it sticks out a little too long, again, you can just fold it back on itself and tuck it in. Otherwise, you're just going to take this little tail and tuck it into your pocket of paper, just like that. So we shouldn't have any little bits sticking out. Now to make this a little more star-like, a little more 3D, we're going to do one last step. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one corner between your finger, your pointer finger and your thumb, and you're going to pinch in. And sometimes this doesn't quite work out very nicely, but there we go. So you're going to pinch that corner to make the whole thing puff up a little bit and look a little more 3D. And then you're going to do that with all 5 corners. So you're going to take that corner and pinch it between your fingers, and then pinch again. And one last time. There's our last one. And you have a cute little star. And you can make 5 of them with that paper that you have left over. So I hope you have a lot of fun making planets and stars at home. I know I have had a ton of fun making these this week. Thank you so much again for tuning in today, everybody. I had a ton of fun reading to you and making crafts with you. We are going to be sharing stories and activities all day long as part of our summer reading kickoff. So as a reminder, head over to our website at thecountylibrary.org/summer to download and print your summer reading record and start recording activities so you can earn your prizes. Have a great day and happy summer reading.